Hey everyone, it's time for the second part of my November book haul. What I've got here is mostly crime, spy, men's adventure, westerns, and sort of various action genres like that. Now, this has mostly all come from one person's collection who is selling a lot of their old stuff. The breadth of their collection was fascinating. They didn't have too many like huge runs of this men's adventure type stuff. Often they would just have like a book here or there from a series. So many different obscure authors. It was really interesting, actually. The only downside is that some of it's very old and kind of falling apart a bit. Some of them I might have to just throw out. They might not be salvageable. But still, overall, this is excellent. I'm really happy about this. Let's just get into it. We'll start with the big one. On Her Majesty's Secret Service by Ian Fleming. And this is the kind of stuff I mean by like damage as well. You can see that that's coming apart there. I'm confident I can just glue that back together. Awesome. Got a couple of Don Pendletons. Mac Bolan. It's Executioner 88, Baltimore Trackdown. And this is actually by Chet Cunningham. Cool. We've got a Pendleton that's not part of the Executioner series. It's Cop for Hire. Beautiful girls are dying for ugly reasons on the dark side of paradise. Joe Cop's heard all the jokes about his name. Yep. Cool. More men's adventure. We've got Death Merchant number 24, The Kronos Plot by Joseph Rosenberger. Awesome Pinnacle Books cover. I like the look of these. Usually I organize my hauls a bit more. This time it's going to be all crime, men's adventure, military, all kind of mixed up. We've got Frank Scarpetta, Slaughterhouse, which is The Marksman number 7. Carnival of Blood. Marksman number 10, Open Contract by Frank Scarpetta. Marksman number 11, Counterattack by Frank Scarpetta. Magellan, a cruelly efficient killing machine, crazed for revenge, cut up the organization like so much bloody meat. Sounds good. Marksman number 12, Mafia Massacre by Frank Scarpetta. Now, I think these are still Marksman. These are still Marksman novels, but they didn't have numbers on them. I'll have to work out in what order to read them. Got Bloody Sunday by Frank Scarpetta. Yeah, because it's Philip Magellan. Yeah, it doesn't say Marksman anywhere. Does that mean it's number one? I'm not sure. The Marksman, The Torture Contract by Frank Scarpetta. The Times Square Connection. When the mob began to show its muscle, so did Magellan, and he blasted them to pieces. Looks like he's in trouble there. Oh, this one sounds good. Big money. I've got a few John D. MacDonalds. The last one left. I already showed this one off on my Instagram. This was a nice 50-cent find. This is quite a thick one. Not in the best condition, but for 50 cents, I definitely wanted it. John D. MacDonald, The Brass Cupcake. Don't think I've seen a photo of John D. MacDonald before. Got one of the Travis McGee novels. A Tan and Sandy Silence by John D. MacDonald. Yep. Elmore Leonard, Bandits. Joe Hunter, Attack Force, number 2, Mission to the Gods. Someone's drawn on his face, unfortunately. That's alright. Yeah, World War II War Series. Cool. Miami Vice, The Vengeance Game, which is number 2 in the series. A novel by Stephen Grave. I should watch some Miami Vice. The Destroyer, number 13, Slave Safari by Richard Sapir and Warren Murphy. That looks good. President Big Daddy. The Enforcer, number 2, Calling Dr. Kill by Andrew Sugar. That's a great painting. Intersect File number 1, Web of Terror by John Cannon. Kind of like a war men's adventure. Live by the Sword. Carousel Books. Now, I've never heard of that. This is what I mean by this guy had so much cool stuff. A Carousel Adventure. American Art Enterprises. Yeah, I don't know. Have any of my American viewers seen this one? Yeah, cool. This series I've seen before. Sight Unseen, which is The Hook, number 2 by Brad Latham. Headhunters, number 2, Starlight Motel Incident by John Weisman and Brian Boyer. Oh, it's going to be partially about corrupt cops. That sounds good. Getting into a different kind of pulpy stuff now. Or at least a couple. We got Re-Enter Fu Manchu by Sex Rumor. I guess this is still crime. I've never read any of these. Got a couple of Doc Savages. The Angry Ghost by Kenneth Robeson. Now it says number 86, but apparently these Bantam books were published out of order. So I guess the number doesn't really mean anything. The Fleming Falcons, which is Doc Savage number 30 by Kenneth Robeson. This one's really quite beat up. That's all right. Oh, back to the crime stuff, I think. Check Force, Judgment Day, Ralph Hayes. So I think this is the second Check Force book. Mana Books. That is a sick painting. Carter Brown, The Hammer of Thor. Now, Carter Brown's an Australian author, but I feel like I never ever see his stuff around here. It seems like he was more popular in America than he was in Australia. Just the impression I get. She was out to get action. She stripped for it. And nearly stripped Al Wheeler of everything, including his life. Sounds good. 67. Wow, old book. Let's check that. Oh, Horwitz. So that is an Australian publisher. I don't know, I never see him around. Yeah, second edition, 1967. Crazy. Carter Brown, Had I But Groaned. Larry Baker walks into a blood-chilling, swinging sabbat, complete with an old hag, a dangerously enchanting witch, and one ripe virgin about to be sacrificed. Oh, cool. Maybe a bit of a horror crossover here. Yeah, this one sounds good. I was extremely excited to find this one. Operation Hang 10, Deadly Group Down Under by Patrick Morgan. The Sharpshooter number 5, Night of the Assassins by Bruno Rossi. King of the Mafia. One man against the Mafia. I'm almost starting to feel sorry for the Mafia. Some more Mafia stuff. The Godfather Killer by Dan Brennan. Shannon, I think that's number 3. There's a sticker in the way. The Mindbenders by Jake Quinn. Maximum Force. Private Eye against the Mafia. Unless They Kill Me First by Vincent the Cat Siciliano. Former Mafia loan shark extortionist, now turned informer working for the FBI. Little Saigon, number 2, Death for Sale by Nicholas Kane. Super Cop Joe Blaze, number 2, The Concrete Cage by Robert Novak. The police wanted to make a deal with the white slavers. Blaze wanted to kill them on his own time. Okay. Got some Kung Fu stuff. King Kung Fu, number 1, Son of the Flying Tiger by Marshall McCow. Here's the dynamite Kung Fu action stories you've been waiting for. Venus Freeway Press. Nice. King Kung Fu number 4, The Kak Abdullah Conspiracy by Marshall McCow. Now I do have number 3 of this as well somewhere. So I think I've got 1, 3, and 4 now. Awesome. Something a bit different. I got Rocky 2. It says by Sylvester Stallone. I'm a little doubtful about that, but maybe he did. Now, unfortunately, this is one of the ones that's falling apart a bit. Yeah, like this page is completely loose. So I'll see if I can fix it. It's all there. We'll see. I might have to throw it out, unfortunately. Rambo First Blood, Part 2 by David Morrell. All right, the rest of what I've got is Westerns. Let's start off with the big one as usual. We got Louis L'Amour, How the West Was Won. And this one's a novelization that L'Amour did. I've not seen this movie. Fair Blows the Wind by Louis L'Amour. Got a few more Marshall Grovers. So for those who are maybe new to my channel, Marshall Grover is a Australian author who did Westerns. We got Johnny Ringo. Oh, and Marshall Grover is also known as Marshall McCoy. Some people might be familiar with him under that name. Now, I really like these old Cougar Westerns, but they have a real problem with, they all end up with this crazy lean. If you can see how extreme that is. I shouldn't say all, but a lot of them do. And now that's really stiff and hard to open, which is a real pity. Yeah, the quality of these, maybe not quite there. Face the Gun by Marshall Grover, which is a Larry and Stretch novel. Now this one's held up remarkably well. This feels really good to open. Texas Rampage by Marshall Grover, which is also a Larry and Stretch novel. Now, I said in one of my other videos that I was really hoping to find some cougar westerns that weren't written by Marshall Grover. So Marshall Grover seems like by far their most popular author, but I've got a few here by other people. So Luke Stroud, I'm not familiar with him at all. This one's in pretty good condition. Like, it's got a slight lean, but it's not too extreme. Scott McClure, Litany of Lead, which is another cougar western. Now, unfortunately, when I bought this, I didn't notice, the whole thing's come apart and the first 28 pages are missing. This one's going to get thrown out, unfortunately. A Thousand Guns by Kirk Hamilton. I think this is Keith Hetherington, an Australian author I've done a review of, under the name Brett Waring. So the one thing I've read by him was really good. So I hope this is good too. Now, unfortunately, this one's also in pretty rough condition. Yeah, here it's really split and coming apart. Hopefully I can just glue that. We've got a George Gilman, Edge number 18, 10 Tombstones to Texas. Another Gilman, Adam Steele number 24, Manhunt. This is the first Adam Steele that I found. Pretty cool. Carmody number 1, The Slavers by Peter McCurtain. Bloodiest Killer in the West. Sounds good. Gun for Hire by Jory Sherman. Now that name rang a bell. I think he did a few horror novels, right? I'll put pictures up if I'm right. Texas Fever by Donald Hamilton, better known for the Matt Helm series. Yeah, Western by Donald Hamilton. Interesting. Last few. Fargo, The Wildcatters by John Benteen. It tells us what guns Fargo uses. That's nice. Bugles West by Frank Gruber. The Doom Trail by Chuck Kelso. An ensign book. Not sure if I have any ensigns. Not sure if I've ever heard of ensign. There you go, now I've got one. And I saved possibly the best for last. It's the novelization of For a Few Dollars More by Job Millard. I saw this movie recently. It's fantastic. Yeah, hopefully I can find some of these other ones. All right, yeah, thanks for watching all that. Hopefully everyone's having a nice holiday season. I'll see you all later. Bye.